Okay, so you might be wondering, who is Unite Oregon? Who here has heard of Unite Oregon? Raise your hand if you have not heard of Unite Oregon. I wanna see who has not heard of Unite Oregon. Justin says, I have not heard. Lucas has not heard. Okay, sounds like most people in this room. Neil, thank you for that. I see you. I'm not. Okay, so I will share a little bit about Unite Oregon. As I mentioned earlier, I will be one of your facilitators and also have the privilege of working at Unite Oregon for the past 2 years. Unite Oregon has been around for 20 years in advancing immigrants, refugees, Black, Indigenous, and people of color in Oregon. We are a statewide organization and we are led by our community, and that is something that we try to really instill in all of the programming and outreach that we do. As mentioned, we are statewide and have 4 chapters that include Clackamas, Multnomah, Rogue Valley, and of course, Washington County. A little bit more about Unite Oregon. Ultimately, we believe that if policies are going to affect people disproportionately, then they should be at the decision-making table. And then a little bit more about Unite Oregon is in 2001, the Center of Intercultural Organizing was created by a small group of refugees and immigrants in response to anti-Muslim immigrant and refugee sentiment in the wake of 9/11 attacks. Unite Oregon was built by diverse groups determined to fight injustice and to celebrate diversity for what truly is the strength in the country. Unite Oregon represents the merger of 2 organizations, Center Intercultural Organizing, which is CIO, and Oregon Action, which is now our C4. And together have decades of experience in organizing immigrants, refugees, and people of color and low-income Oregonians to address racial and economic disparities and improve quality of life in Oregon. We have specifically been in Washington County for the past 15 years and have had a proud partnership with the city of Beaverton for the past 10 years. Some of you may have also heard of our BOLD program, which stands for Beaverton Organizing Leadership Development. So if you are one of our BOLD graduates, thanks for being here. And if you're interested in joining that program, let us know. As I mentioned earlier, we are state level and we advocate for 6 different priority areas with health equity, immigration reform, housing justice, and educational equity. And we'll click on the next slide to get more visuals. There we go. We work on issues ranging from student debt crisis and college affordability to equitable transportation access and economic justice for working women. We've registered thousands of new citizens to vote, and we fight to give our communities a voice in their state and local governments. Today, we are proud to say that Unite Oregon is the largest organization in the state led by Black, Indigenous immigrants, refugees, rural communities, and members across the Oregonian social spectrum. With more than 22,000 members and supporters, Unite Oregon works across the state to build a unified intercultural movement of justice. A little bit about our founder. You may have heard of him, is Casey Jama. He was born into a nomad family in Somalia. He left when the Civil War erupted and finally found sanctuary in Portland, Oregon. From 2000 and 2007, he trained immigrant and refugee community leaders in 5 Western states, which include Oregon, Washington, Nevada, Utah, and Idaho. AKA Casey was very busy organizing all the time. And in 2002, he founded the Center of Intercultural Organizing, which again now is Unite Oregon. And in 2016 was a full merger with Oregon Action. And in 2021, Casey stepped down as our executive director after he was appointed to serve as the Oregon State Senator for District 24, representing East Portland and Clackamas. So at this moment, I will pivot on to the city of Beaverton to share a little bit more about what they are working on and what they're going to be doing here today. So I will pass it on to my colleagues. Thank you very much.
All right, so the city of Beaverton has really taken the last few years to really focus its energy on diversity, equity, and inclusion. We have This is a cover of our diversity, equity, and inclusion plan. The most recent update was in 2019, and this plan was really led by the Beaverton community, specifically the Diversity Advisory Board. And it was adopted by Beaverton City Council and includes various priority areas and policies that really lead the work that we do. Next slide. So there are a whole bunch of policies in the diversity, equity, and inclusion plan, but I wanted to call out these few that are really leading the work that we're going to be talking about tonight around housing and community building. So the first one is community building and inclusion. Public engagement, which is why we're here talking with you all tonight. It's so important that we bring the community into the work that we're doing. And another priority area is housing and livability. Under this priority area, there are focuses around prioritizing people experiencing homelessness, affordable housing, home ownership, ensuring that we have quality housing and tenant protections, anti-displacement, and city planning and policies. So that's just a little bit of a framework for why we're here tonight to talk to you all about housing. And it's really broad. It covers a whole bunch of topics underneath housing, but they're all so important. And we have various projects that touch on each of these topics.
Thank you, Jenna.